Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Alex with Marketing. I'm the ventilation system specialist here, and I'm here with Matt today.
Hey, what's going on, Alex?
Good. So we just kind of wanted to have a conversation of what it's like to be a chef in a kitchen with poor ventilation system. So I know you've been cooking in a kitchen for just a little while, so kind of wanted to ask you about that.
I've been in quite a few kitchens where the ventilation system isn't so good, and one is it gets extremely hot.
Right.
Another is smoke will come out on the sides and fill up the whole kitchen.
Right.
Noise is always a factor.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a lot of battles with ventilation, poor ventilation.
Right. And would you say some of these kitchens are a little bit dirtier, a little bit greasier, like the ceiling tiles being yellow?
Well,
what's kind of your take on that?
When it's not pulling properly, yes, you'll see all the tiles will start to get yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Grease buildup on the sides, grease buildup everywhere. So.
Right.
Yes, it's not the most pleasant.
Right. Have you seen any unique solutions to?
I've seen
kind
people
of
bring fans in, all kinds of weird. Try to open a door here or there.
Right.
None of it really works. Everything kind of gets out of balance.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and that can lead to a lot of different difficulties. Energy savings. I've seen kitchens where they try and crank the air all the way down to something like 60 degrees all day long, and that's just going to add up to that bill. So there's quite a difficulty there. So I mean, have you seen that kind of in action in any of the places you've cooked in?
I've worked in a kitchen where they actually had to lower the AC down as well, and they kept it like that 24/7 because the building was so big that if they rose it up and turned it down, it was too much to cool.
Right.
So yeah, if it's not vented and working properly, there's a lot of unhappy cooks and a lot of heat and just a lot of things you got to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so let's not just talk. Are you making us a dish here today?
Yeah, well, I figured we'd throw some burgers on here, and we're going to do some avocado fries to see how the system works.
Awesome. All right, so while you're doing that, let's kind of have a little conversation about what Halton can bring here to the table. So when beginning to design a kitchen, many assume you can just go with the cheapest hood on the market, and this is a pretty good option for smaller kitchens, lower temperature cooking. But once you get into cooking that's higher intensity, smoke, a lot of grease and particulate, bigger cooking spaces than just a single piece of appliance here, you're going to start running into some energy issues. Even if you invest in the latest design of equipment, the highest energy efficiency right there at the cooking level, nothing's going to impact your energy savings, your cost savings, and just the health and well-being of your chefs like a properly designed kitchen ventilation system. Every hood manufacturer on the market is going to tell you we've got the best hoods, we've got the latest and greatest technology, but none can hold a candle to what Halton can provide. And we want to talk about a couple of different aspects of that technology today. So let's talk about the first piece of technology, which is going to be the KSA Halton filter. So come on over. All right, so this first piece is this KSA filter here. Now from the front, it looks like any other filter you'd stick in a hood. But when we turn around and look at the back, it's actually got a flat back on it, solid back. Now you might be thinking, how's the grease and all that particulate going to get through? It actually has a rigid design so that once the smoke and all that particulate enters each of these chambers, it'll actually start rolling in those banks. And that's going to deposit all that grease, all that smoke before it exits the chamber out of the top and also out of the bottom. So this means that your ducts are going to be much cleaner, as a lot more of that grease and particulate is going to be deposited in your filter bank as opposed to getting deposited right there in your ductwork. These KSA filters are specially designed for these Halton hoods, and it's really the building block and the very first component of what makes Halton unique to these systems. So let's go over to the hood and kind of talk about that. All right, so how are we doing over here, man?
Oh, doing great. I'm getting ready to fire these burgers on this beautiful Jade range, and having a well-balanced and efficient hood system makes a big difference, especially when you're using something as powerful as 35,000 BTUs on a burner.
Right. All right, yeah, I'm glad you picked burgers to cook here today, because that's a pretty good example of a very hot, greasy thing to cook in a kitchen environment. Obviously, you can see it's already pouring out quite a bit of smoke here. But the really interesting piece of technology we want to showcase here today is the capture jet fans and capture jet technology that Halton can bring to the table. Now what this is a perimeter jet, both vertical and horizontal jet, that's going to line every open side of your Halton piece of equipment. Now what capture jet here does is it creates a low pressure zone right here at the cooking level, so that there's almost an invisible curtain around your cooking environment. So what that does is, when you have a lot of grease and a lot of smoke coming out, a lot of times on traditional units, you'll just see that smoke pouring right out of the side of the hood. But since there's that low pressure right here, we're able to recapture a lot of that smoke and grease and pour it right back into the hood space. And as well, not only do we have vertical jets, but we have horizontal jets. And what that's going to do is, as the smoke is rolling back into the hood, it's going to keep it in that hood space and continuously roll it into the ducts. So what does that mean for your space? Well, obviously you're going to have a lot less heat, a lot less of that convective heat coming off and filling up your kitchen environment. You're not going to have those greasy ceiling tiles like you would, where that smoke is just pouring out all day long. And as well, we're able to fit a smaller hood underneath the space that you would normally need, way more overhang, a lot deeper of a hood, and just fill out a less of a footprint. All right, man, what do we got here?
All right, so the burgers and the fries are done. I can tell you, man, it was a pleasure working with that hood. It kept the smoke in place, kept it under the hood where it needed to be. It kept the kitchen a lot cooler. Very happy with it.
Right, absolutely. And that's really just a couple of the pieces of technology we can bring to the table just under the hood. But now kind of let's talk about the domain control system that we can bring to the table, and also how it's going to help you saving in energy in your kitchen. Man, good job on the burger, man. That tastes great.
Thank you.
So the last component we want to talk about is the Marvel domain control system. Now, like any other domain control ventilation system on the market, we're able to make sure that those fans are running at a listed minimum so that you're saving as much energy as you can. So our system is going to be a little bit different than anything else on the market. What we do is we install an infrared sensor right there at the hood level so that it's pointing at your highest grease producing piece of equipment. Now what that's going to do is allow that domain control system to activate as soon as it sees a change in the cooking environment. Whereas other systems may take a couple minutes to turn on, ours will turn on within 15 seconds. So as you can see, Halton can bring some really unique options to the table. First, as we talked about, that KSA filter is going to help extract a lot of that grease out of that convective heat before it even hits the ductwork, which means your ducts are going to get cleaned a lot less. Secondly, we have that capture jet technology. That's going to help contain all of that convective heat, all that smoke and grease, instead of spilling out into your cooking space, having those greasy, disgusting yellow tiles that you see in pretty poorly ventilated kitchens. So that's going to help out a lot there. And third, we have our Marvel domain control ventilation. So not only is that an intuitive system that you're able to operate without having to hit any buttons, it's also going to bring you a lot more energy savings.
Being a chef, I can see all the benefits of that, like keeping a cool kitchen, keeping the smoke where it needs to be. And then working closely with owners, I can also see where the owner saves a lot of money in the long run, which makes everybody happy. So
absolutely,
that's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah, awesome. So yeah, Halton can bring a lot of different unique options to the table. And if you have any comments or questions about anything, just give us a call and we'll be able to help out.